Hi, everyone. Welcome to Maude's Book Club. I was just muted. Just real quick then. Just muted. Welcome to Maude's Book Club. Sorry, all over the place with the start time today. Here was my day mapped out. That didn't happen. That went, and now I'm here. So you know how like when you have really great intentions and you have to flip everything around and then rush around and you realize you don't have time. But if you don't make time for your friend who's in town, it's going to be 4 years before you see her again. I had that. And I'd actually planned about an hour to sit down and just relearn what the heck happens in this book. We covered Fevered Star a year ago. Too long ago. Usually if we have a series that's already out, we'll do it every second month. So it's kind of fresh in the mind. This time round, Mirrored Heavens wasn't out yet. In fact, it wasn't supposed to come out until I think next month. And so we bumped it and we read it. And naive little Maude, I loved the books. We spoke about the books for 4 hours. I'll remember what happens. I'll just listen to the book. The narrations will send me back to that place. Characters, I'll just figure it out. No. I think I was on chapter 11 and I was like, who's Balam? Who is this motherfucker? I got no idea, but it seems like he's important, right? And then I'm like, oh, that's right. I wish I'd checked in more with the community every step of this way as we all collectively helped remind what was going on. Now, Vaden is the MVP for this stream. Where's my... Vaden is the... If Vaden has to do his own applause. Okay, cool. Vaden's the MVP for 3 reasons. 1, I just saw your sneaky donation 3 hours ago. Thank you so much. Saying, Maude, you are the best interviewer I've seen, and the way that each author gets comfortable enough to open up is a testament to your amazing abilities. Thank you so much. Very lovely to say. Very lovely donation. Really appreciate you. You're carrying Maude's Book Club these days. Don't go to the gym. The arms are getting worked out carrying Maude's Book Club. The second reason is because he's gone into the group doc and just listed what happened, a sentence of what happens in each chapter, which I will likely read verbatim at this stage to try and recount what happened. And earlier before the show, I was like, oh God, like, I just need to know what that prophecy was that Satya had. And now look at this. I'm literally telling him he's the MVP. And what does he do? He pops up saying that he's resubscribed for his 45th month. Look at that. He's also currently beet red in the video chat right now.
It's just embarrassing. Too much praise. Can't handle it.
So your donation got you on, your recap got you on, and then I'm sure that was another trifecta happening in there. The sub, crush. And now we've got the prophecy, which is going to be a big part of the discussion. I do want to apologize to everyone for having a very flippant start time with this. I also found out really last minute that some people would have been happy to move it to Friday. I don't think everyone read the chapters in time. Tim is in here. We were supposed to get up to chapters, read 27, stop at 28. Where are you at, Tim?
I just started chapter 18.
18.
Hey, that's a lot compared to the past 6 months of books.
The first thing I said before the show was 27. There was a little bit of a hiccup with if it was 26 or 27. It was listed differently everywhere. And people were like, is it 26 or 27?
I stopped after 26.
Got it. I want to talk about 27 because shit goes down.
Of course it goes
down. Ship goes down. God damn it. So yeah, 1 to 27. We stopped at 26. I don't know if you want to quickly just power read chapter 27 or whatevs. Got it.
Yeah, let me just grind 12 chapters real quick. No big deal.
I sometimes there are things where it's like, hi, sorry, I know we had a stream today, but I'm going to be on a red carpet instead. Times are always flexible. Things are always changing. My day was upended completely. But here we are. Here we are. I do think in hindsight, we probably should have done recursion first and then gotten in the mindset to really do this book. But sometimes you don't know the decision to make until you start. You've already made the other one and you're like, oh, hindsight, it's a hell of a thing. For those that don't know, Mirrored Heavens is book 3 of the Earth and Sky saga, the Earth and Sky trilogy by Rebecca Roanhorse. We have covered Black Sun, which was recommended by the community. Rebecca Roanhorse, I believe, is Indigenous, as is the themes of this fantasy book, things that are inspired from Native American culture, not Mesopotamia. There was another M.
Mesoamerican.
Mayan?
Mesoamerican.
Mesoamerican, yeah.
Yep. Mayan's like even further back, no? This is not Maude's History Club. This is Maude's Book Club. Shank fuck. Katie said, I powered through the first 2 books to be ready for today. Gold star, Katie. Hey, Katie, since it's like fresh in your brain, talk me through your thoughts on Black Sun and Fevered Star. Did you like it? Where are you at with it?
So it took me a while to get into the world. Because I'm like, okay, wait, who are you? What are you doing? Why is this important? And so because I was able to power through them, everybody was super fresh on like, oh, okay, yeah, I know who you are. I know what's going on. I know what prophecy you're talking about, which was very nice. I thought, honestly, they could have been 2 books turned into just 1 book, or even all 3 could be 1 book and just be parts, in my humble opinion. But I also like the really long, thick chunker of books. I'm still trying to struggle to figure out who the villain is, or if there is or is not a villain.
Yeah,
because I'm like,
that's a great
Sun God,
discussion.
yes, you could be the villain, but at the same time, you have redeeming qualities. Dosido, whatever his name is, however you say their names, because I'm not going to say them correctly.
I think Odosido is the title of like... Yeah, but it's Serapio is the person, and he's from Carrion Crow, his clan, which is the crow god, the deity imbued.
Right.
But they're all the same.
And he's supposed to be the villain, but you feel so much for him because you have his whole backstory.
And you get even more in this book.
Yes.
Serapio's chapters are the best in this book.
But at the same time, I never say their real names. I call her Mermaid Chick.
Shala.
Yep. Shala.
Yep.
Shala. Are you reading it or listening to it?
I listen to it. And so I love all the different voice actors and how it's a new person every single time, which is amazing. Where other books, it's like, oh wait, who is this chapter? Even if it is a different point of view. That's one thing I would highly recommend, is very much listening to it. And I'm not let's listen to the dramatic version of an audiobook. One person and I'm good. But I really enjoy hearing the different voice actors.
It helps because the titles of the chapters aren't listed as who the character is. And sometimes I'm like 3 pages in before I'm like, I think there was a Balam chapter and I was like 3/4 of the way through it and I was like, oh, this isn't Okoa. Oh, okay. And I had to like redistribute that information with a different character. And I was like, I have to quickly change. It says I'm on Stardew Valley and not just chatting. So let me get just chatting in here. Just chatting. Thank you so much, K Frito, for filling me in on that one. I love that conversation of I don't know who the villain is, and I would love to get into that as well because Kate is in the chat. Kate, are you going to jump in the call? Hello. Maude's Book Club. In the physical books, just as an FYI to the audio people, the flashbacks parts with Balam are in a different font. Also, I think a really big thing that us audiobook listeners aren't getting is the map. We talk about Tova, Obreshi. Exactly. Tim's showing me in the chat right now. I have no visual context of where anything is. I know that Teak are islands. Oh, sorry. Thank you. Darian, I'm going to need you to mute. Sorry, I'm just getting echo immediately. Thank you. You have to get headphones on. Hi. And I kind of wish I could see the names. I could see the words because I'm noticing that when I'm trying to go back to be like, well, what was the name again? And then when you say it, I'm like, oh, that's right. But I was saying Okoa, A-K-O-A, not Okoa. So it's like there's little things like that I think visually would have really helped me with this. Kate says map in the opening of the book. I know that there is a PDF apparently attached for the audiobook listeners. I don't think it references it in the book going, hey, there's a PDF. You should look it up. Or if they did, I didn't listen. Oh, you're at work. See you, KP Dubs. Regards, Darren says, it says the city at the beginning to get an idea of who is going to be in it, but that would be real easy to miss on audiobook. We get chapter 7, and then usually it's like a passage, so I know that a lot of the time it's a Teak saying when it's Shala. Okoa is like from the Book of Happiness or like how to live life blissfully or something. Tim's showing me the top of the chapter as well. Oh, yeah, sometimes it'll say that. City of Okoa. And then it's like a little excerpt of all those things. I know that for me, if there's different point of views chapters, I really like it when it's like chapter 17, this person. I'm like, cool, I'm in their shoes, let's walk. So that was a little bit discombobulating for me. If anyone hasn't finished this, what is that? What's that a map of? It looks like Vegemite toast. It's not. Oh, it's a map.
That's the book map in PDF format.
Oh, could you put that in the show chat? That would be lovely. Oh, hold on. I missed that. I wasn't looking. City of Coca-Cola, City of Tova. Yeah.
Just a list of people.
Great. Yeah, if you can get that in there, that'd be great as well. The year helps to know if it's a flashback as well, says Darren. Absolutely. Listening was hard because I kept getting confused when it was a Balam flashback chapter. As Kate was saying, the font's different for flashbacks. We don't get that as an audiobook listener. It's the same narrator. Just because there's going to start being a tally or a count for this, Iktan's narrator was shit. It was like, you know when you were a kid and you had a bubbler and you were like trying to drink from the bubbler? That's how he spoke. I cannot discern what you're saying. Iktan, like, you're such a badass. You're better than a bubbler. What do you call a bubbler? What do you guys call a bubbler?
You're saying like the bumbling? Or
a water fountain?
Like,
no, she meant the thing you know, the kid, you have that kind of like circular thing you blow through to get bubbles?
No.
No, she's talking about a drinking fountain.
Oh, drink what?
She's talking about a drinking fountain.
How's it a fountain? Fountains are, you don't drink from.
A fountain of water. You just turn the button to activate it.
No, in Australia, if it's a fountain, you don't go in there. It's public water. Like, it's gross. You don't drink.
What do you think a drinking fountain is? It's public water. Anyone can drink it.
It's a bubbler. Maude, show pictures. Look up.
I will fight you.
Okay. When we're in different countries, two people can be right about the same thing. A bubbler.
People in Wisconsin call it a bubbler as well.
Pretty sure the Midwest call it a bubbler too.
Really?
Not Minnesota, just Wisconsin.
Bubbler water fountain. Bubbler. Oh, yeah. One's called an Eagle Group drinking bubbler, and I feel like that somehow is a segue. With the Eagle. Water Striders, Golden Eagle. Kate just says, stupid Wisconsin.
He said stupid Australia before that.
Oh, you did? You did.
She did. No,
she did?
Kate did.
Kate! You can say whatever you want about Wisconsin, but don't leave us... Oh, she came in! All right, Kate, your rant, you have 6 seconds. Your time starts now.
Fair dinkum bogans. Can't say anything right.
She cleaned it up in 5. I'll give you that. Can't say anything right. I think I said that right. Hey. Wait, can't. Hey. All right, let's go around the group. What did everyone give this for? The first half of the book. How are we feeling? What are our feelers? Are we feeling it? With your feels, who would like to go first? Your therapy starts now. Kate, you already wrote it first. 4 out of 5. Why are you giving it a 4?
I don't know. It was just a really good time, and when I was reading it, it just like flew by.
Oh, that's good. That's really good. I will say that, like, I didn't feel like, I'm looking up reviews. This is the hardest part about preparing for book club with the first half of the book.
I don't know if it's because I read it or just because I didn't find it difficult to follow, like the like narration changes. Mm-hmm. So I just like as soon as a new chapter started, I knew who it was immediately, because I don't know if it's just because of like the headers in the book or just whatever, but
must like, be nice.
Yeah, that part wasn't a problem, and it's just everything that was happening was really cool. Like, yeah, the stuff with Icton was really cool, and all the stuff in Teak Isles was like, you know, I just needed to see more. It was hard, but it's just like because there's like 4 or 5 chapters before you get back to each story, right? Because there's so many different things going on that are coming together. Mm-hmm. So it's just like, I need to read more chapters so I can find out what's happening in, like, you know, each of these stories.
I feel like there is stuff happening. I'm not like, it doesn't feel like it's waiting or pieces are moving. Like, I do feel like things are happening, but we're also going into more depth. So we are looking backwards as a way to really flesh out these characters. We are learning Balam's backstory. We are learning a little bit more about Serapio's inner thoughts and his struggles between being a human and being a god. We are learning about Narumpa and Ictan's sort of like first meeting. So we're looking at sort of like the beginning to learn about these characters a lot more as they move forward. I don't know what that was, but I liked that sound. What was that? Was that someone getting a text message? I would get addicted to that. Whatever they're doing, it's working. Do-do-do. Robin, was that you? Because you kind of looked sheep. I liked it. Oh, it's yours, Darian. What is that? What is it?
Oh, that was just like a calendar reminder thing that came up.
Oh, that's such a happy noise for a calendar reminder.
Yeah.
Don't forget. You're like, oh, right. Seeing Longlegs tomorrow, and I can't wait. My name is Maude. What do you... Haha. What's Longlegs? That sounds like a horror thing, if Kate's excited.
It is.
What's
Longlegs?
It's a horror
movie.
Go,
it's
Kate.
A horror movie.
You've got 10 seconds. Your time starts. This is of what Longlegs is now.
Just from the trailer, they're saying it's like modern day Silence of the Lambs with a cult twist, and Nicolas Cage is the main role. Unrecognizably so.
I feel like he's doing a lot of unrecognizable to the point where he's going to start being recognizable because he's done all the unrecognizables. You know what I mean? He's like full circle with unrecognizable to the point where it's recognizable.
He's kind of becoming a horror icon too, because like he was in Mandy and Mom and Dad, and
he has Arcadium coming out.
Maddie is in all caps saying, I'm so excited. The trailers, the spooky codes, sign me up. Longlegs is a 2024 American horror thriller film written and directed by Osgood Perkins. The film stars Micah Monroe, Nicolas Cage. Premise is in the 1990s. New FBI agent Lee Harker was assigned to an unsolved case involving a satanic serial killer known as Longlegs. As the investigation becomes more complicated with occult evidence uncovered, Harker realizes a personal link to the killer and must act quickly to prevent another family murder. I actually don't mind the sound of that. Do you remember when we read the third Gillian Flinch book and it was sort of like had a satanic panic?
Gillian Flinch? Is it because you flinched? Gillian Flynn.
Flynn. Oh, David.
Her new name is Gillian
Fincher.
Flinch now.
Yeah.
Gillian Flinch.
That was a good book.
I didn't like that one as much, but they also
didn't.
killed the cattle. The kids killed the cattle.
I mean, that was
when
probably
I
my
watched,
least favorite of her 3, because we did Gone Girl and Sharp Objects and then Dark Places. I think that was, I still liked it, but I liked the other 2 better.
That's what it was, Dark Places.
If someone has like if a director horror needs a name, if their last name would be Flinch, that would be so good. I like that.
It sounds like it would be like the last name of like a horror themed burlesque dancer or something.
Oh, I like that. Scaredy Flinch.
And FYI, the director, Osgood Perkins, is the son of Anthony Perkins, who played Norman Bates in the original Psycho.
Ah, that's cool.
He
Gillian Flynn and David
also-
Fincher.
Yeah, Osgood Perkins is also the best friend in Legally Blonde.
What?
Wait,
I have
what?
to Google now.
Yeah, he was like a Will Ferrell-esque looking guy in Legally Blonde.
Oh yeah. No, he's been in heaps of things. What else was he in? Star Trek, apparently. Not another teen movie. Yeah, he's got a very familiar face.
Mhm.
Oh, that's cool. Longlegs. Oh, we're so distracted. I'm so whatever. We're talking about a book, and I'm just like, because it's called a daddy longlegs, the spider. Is it anything to do with that? Because
No clue.
like Longlegs isn't
No,
scary.
that's the
It's in
movie.
my
Yeah.
it's in my bio, like ooh.
Watch the movie and find out, Maude.
I'll have to find out.
Yep. That's my plan this weekend.
Ooh.
Tell you the same thing I had to tell my niece every time BB-8 wasn't on the movie screen. And she asked me, where's BB-8? Watch the movie and find out.
Or Kate can watch the movie and tell me all about it. So I don't have to watch scary parts. Yay. There you go. Maddie already just said that. I'll watch it for him and I'll text you about it. Yay. Fincher did direct Flynn's Gone Girl. I do think I pieced those two names together. I'm starting to do that with names. I'm like, where did that come from? And it's this meets that. I did Indara. I said Inara. And then Seb was like, that's from Firefly. And I'm like, that's where that name was living in.
I
my
feel
brain.
like Gillian Flinch would be friends with, what was that, Garrett Navarro? When it was you and Hector's names got mashed up.
Garrett Navarro. Oh, Tim's trying to get me back on track. By the way, I give this half of the book a soft 4 so far. We got a soft 4 over here, but you're only up to chapter 18, which is 9 away
Tim
from where
read
we're
it?
supposed to be. Is
Yes,
that up to chapter 18? Yeah.
Yes, I read it. I read the
Yay.
first 2, and I loved them, so of course I'm going to read the third one.
Even
But
Maddie,
yeah.
a 4 from Tim? Tim reads? Yeah, Tim
Yes,
reads.
I know how to read and not just do math.
He also knows how to enjoy a book that's not usually the books that we enjoy.
That's
But
a
we're all
fact.
enjoying this one. We're all enjoying this one. Kate wants to take note of the incredible cover here. As we all know, this is Zelda. Why do you do this to me? Why? Why can't you just sit on the bed? She goes to the couch. Like, what? You can't even see anything out there, can you? Tun needs to die painfully.
Mhm.
So, Katie, we got a kid giggling. Isn't that the most wholesome sweet noise ever?
Mm.
Oh, that was cute. As Kate was mentioning earlier, in response to Katie Brush's question, which was who's the villain? I actually feel like we've got some pretty classically evil characters, at least
Kinda clear.
with Toon. But before we go into that, I want to know everyone else's scores. It's looking roughly between a 3.75 to a 4.5 at the moment. Darian, what are you giving it so far?
I would say the first third of the book, although we did the first half of the book, the first third would be like a 3.5, and we kind of stopped at the halfway point of the second third, and I'm enjoying that more so for there. So
you read chapter 27?
I got up and I had discipline. I stopped at 26, which was a very good place to stop.
Yes, it was.
Yes.
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. So from 18 to 26, I will give a 4 for sure.
Okay. You just thought it was a little bit slower to get into it?
Yeah. I think part of it is the last time I read this was Black Sun immediately into Fevered Star, and now I have like a year gap between. So It's very fuzzy. I don't know if anybody else had that problem.
So bad. So bad. We really should have done more of a recap. Baden, that was your third point for MVP. He actually put in, and it was covered by a spoiler, the whole premise of Fevered Star. We were all at liberty to read that, and there was something in my head where I was like, I don't need no recap. I needed that recap so bad.
What you
That's just you not doing
about
the
it.
tutorial mod.
Yeah, but the funny part is like you asked Darren about it too. You asked Darren about a recap for FIFA Star. He gave you one, and I give you one too from Wikipedia. He gave it from Reddit, and like
I didn't see that one. I didn't see the one that Darren posted. I just saw the one that you'd put up. Oh my goodness! I think I was like already 8 chapters into it, and I was like, I've started. No.
Yeah.
Like I will see this through. Look, I'm not saying that I make smart decisions. Sorry, Darren, and then Lisa, I saw your hand was up, and we'll go to you next.
Yeah. No, I was just gonna say I think this book really benefits on binging 1, 2, 3.
You're ranking them so far 1, 2, 3?
No, I'm thinking the book benefits from like doing like a binge of the entire series in one like thing, no gaps in between.
Well, Katie did that. Katie, to catch up to this book for this month, binge read 1, 2, and like is fresh and ready to go with this whole story. I agree. I think it is personally harming my discussion that I'm bringing to the table today, and it is compromising the capacity in which I'm enjoying this, because I'm like, hold on. Do I need to start writing up recaps? When we've covered a book more than 6 months before, posting a summary refresher that is mandatory for me to read. Yeah, that's the lesson I learned for this. Absolutely. I just like, I don't know. I've got to figure out the difference between like what I think could be a challenge and choosing to not identify my deficits. I think that's my little tough spot. Lisa, your hand was up earlier.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I'm probably sitting at like 3.5 right now. And I
think it was Lisa's birthday this week, everyone. It was Lisa's birthday this week. Are we all ready to unmute so we can sing her a quick happy birthday? Are we ready? It's going to sound atrocious. We'll just do it until it sounds and loses the pop completely. But 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday to you. So bad. Okay, that's real bad. But that's for you, dear Lisa. Happy birthday to you. There you go. Way! Happy birthday, girl. So you gave it a 3.5.
Yeah, thanks.
I like that sound. You were going into why before I rudely humiliated you with a birthday song.
So I'm kind of the same way. Like I forgot that he put a recap, so I didn't read that, and I was so lost in the beginning. Like I didn't remember any of the characters. I don't remember how the second book ended. So like where these characters are at, I don't know how they got there. And I'm like, I was very lost. But probably around like chapter 15, 16, it started picking up for me. So it's getting better. And I feel like it's building to a lot of stuff right now. So I'm definitely getting more into it. So it's probably going to be a higher score when I'm finished. But right now I'm about 3.5.
3.5. All right, so that's 3.5 to 4.5 is our window. I'm at about a 4, which sits neatly in the middle of that. Kate was at a 4. Robin, you're at a 3.75. You want to tell me more about that?
Yeah, so I was the same. Like I read the first chapter and I was like, oh, we're just getting straight into this. Like there's no recap or anything. So I read for like an hour and a half the recap that was on Reddit of every single chapter from the previous book.
I read that yesterday.
Did it help?
Yes.
Yeah. Hey, what happens in Fevered Star? TLDR.
Oh, I don't know anymore.
Oh, good,
it's out of my brain already.
Yep, just need to know only. Phantom Aria is in the chat and has done the reading. Says, I went back and I skimmed the last few chapters of the last book before starting, which definitely helped. Also said happy birthday. Also earlier said 4.5 out of 5. Phantom in the chat. Let me know what you're loving about this one. Why a 4.5? Kate is saying something nice to me, so I will read it out loud so that it can be turned into a clip and immortalized forever. Kate
Immortalized?
says, Kate says, the greatest strength in life is when you're able to admit that you're wrong and also to admit where your weaknesses are. It shows vulnerability. So I'm wrong and I'm shit, but that's beautiful for this conversation. Thank you, Kate. That was very lovely. I admit when I'm wrong all the time. I actually tried to message you and I can't DM you, so you didn't get my DM, but I did try to reach out.
What, through Discord?
Yeah. I know, because we've conversed before, and it was like, you can't talk to her. And I was like, fair enough.
Kate blocked you.
Yeah, I have one from you. What?
I was undone. I know. I don't know. I tried to reach out. I can try again, or if you want to write in there just to kind of kickstart it. But I tried to reach out.
It says to send you a friend request, but then it failed because you're not accepting friend requests.
Isn't that
Maude?
so passive aggressive, isn't it?
Maude, you're like, no thanks, I've got enough friends.
It's like open the door. You're like, there's no keyhole or door lock or doorknob. You're like, okay, well,
There's no
okay.
door. Open the door. There's no door.
There's no spoon. The cake is a lie.
There are 4 lights.
There are 4 lights.
Yeah, from Star Trek Deep Space Nine. One of the greatest Star Trek episodes ever.
Star Trek. There is a vast hole of me not having explored. What is that saying for Star Trek? Exploration. I know there's live long and prosper, but there's also
to boldly go, that one?
Yeah, sure.
I don't remember the rest of it.
To boldly go where no man has gone or something, isn't it? And I'm like, to that I say, I am no man. Baden's hand is up.
Just mentioning about the score for now. Like, I get a 4.5. I guess I'm the highest for some reason. Surprised by that, but like, yeah, I'm loving the book, and the characters are really interesting to me. The world building is amazing. I wish we got to see more magic like types. It seems like we focus a lot on blood magic and shadow, but not much on like the other types. Like Sky's mission, I'm curious about, and Stone we only see a little bit from Toon, but like I like the ambiguity, and like I said in the characters, you don't really have super clear villains outside of Toon. It's just terrible in every way, and like Balam's pretty bad, but at least we can see that we find out that Balam is basically doing this theoretically for love. He supposedly is doing all this stuff and being ruthless, all this to fulfill Seiya's quest.
Darian's got a thought.
Oh no, it's just like it starts off like that, but I mean, like he like obviously has something more beyond that. Like after like they unleash Serapio, like he wants to conquer the Meridian, which is like definitely not Seiya was thinking about. So where did that motivation come from?
Okay.
It's very interesting that the two who are kind of the clearest villains, like what Katie was talking about, that's like Serapio should be a villain, but a lot of characters are very nuanced. Like even Icton, like went on a horrific massacre.
Priest of Knives. Yeah.
Well, it was revenge because like the Golden Eagles were the one who set up the whole thing that got Narampa all messed up. But like that's a super villainous act, but there's like a lot of that where the villainous aspects of a lot of the characters are very gray. But with Balam and Toon, they are way less so. And even seeing Balam's past, he's still a piece of shit. But it's very interesting that these two who are the villains are the colonizers.
Oh, yeah, okay.
So they are like, because Toon is obviously like, I want to rule this place, I just don't want the people living here. Like, she just wants to rule Teak Island, but she doesn't care if, like, the Teak are all dead. And Balam wants to, like, you know, take over Tova. Like, they are colonizers.
That's a really good point. I actually saw it as sort of like seeking power and control, but how is that not the same? Yeah, okay, that's a really great point. Zelda's back. Don't leave again. Love that dog. Tim, you wrote a really interesting comment about Serapio. Like, Serapio has so much blood on his hands. He kind of like finishes the end of last book. I got a couple of flashbacks of what happened because that book was very visual for me. One of them was the fact that like that huge cool battle where Narumpa is hiding for fear and these swarms of murder of crows are like trying to hunt her down and chase her. Like, that was sick. And going back to the point, Vaden, that you made, which I think is really on point, the magic use and the exploration of world building and tapping into this magic source, we really had that ramped up in the last book, and it kind of has taken a bit of a back seat for the first half of this book. So it's like we got all that emphasis. Now Narumpa is harnessing the sun god to kind of like step up to the mantle to take on the death god. So it's like, whoa, this is like, you know, here I am, like, kaijus are coming forward. And it's like, ah. And then she just goes, oh my God, I wonder what Iktan's up to. You know, so it's like, it did take the wind out of the sails a little bit. But to go into Serapio being such a fascinating character, and I do want to ask a question, and then I'll write in the notes in the document as well, like talking key questions. I think I'll pop it here. Key questions. Favorite character chapters, favorite POV chapters so far. Whose chapters or whose portions do you like the most?
That chapter with Balam where he woke, like after Iktan's attack on him, and he went, and it was the whole aftermath of what happened to Clan Golden Eagle. I think that was my favorite chapter.
Golden Eagle's
I guess.
Hold on, what
Balam's
happened to
chapters? What?
You're about to confess that Balam's chapters are your favorites.
Yeah, and it's like I just realized it because I also really liked the flashbacks where we see, because we met his mother kind of at the end of her madness, right? So we're kind of seeing where it began, but kind of seeing the machination. It's like almost like the same sort of path for Serapio that she had too. So like all that stuff is just very interesting too.
Spurned by vengeance? Because hers is vengeance.
Because the same thing is like he was set on the path by her, but going on this path for like vengeance or your end goal, and once you get there being like trapped in it, because she ended up kind of being trapped in her own madness. Right. Yeah, she was consumed by it. And Serapio never had a choice because he was born into this, but the path that he went on, he's like consumed now, right? Like we see it, like how they're saying like he's a villain by consequence.
That's a really great way to say it, Tim.
Into the hole of being a villain, because it's like, where else is he supposed to go with the way he was created? But we see the parts where it's like we see the paths he maybe could have taken, like with Shiala and like these kind of things, or how the prophecy, he's trying to like wind his way around the prophecy with this water strider daughter. He is a prophecy. Thing about he doesn't want to kill Shiala, so he's like, okay, I'm going to work my way around it, because so there's like these where we could see futures if he wasn't trapped in this, like where he is now.
I think his biggest struggle is between being a human and like having humanity as a part of his morality, conscience, etc., and the duty of being a god, and his, you know, the fact that he is a walking prophecy, and having that difference, seeing him so consumed by like, I'm the god of death, I'm gonna kill. Like if someone needs to die, I will do that. And then when he's talking to Okoa and recognizing and realizing, I don't know if anyone saw it in the fable, but I'm like, yeah, that sounds about right. Two guys just need to punch each other and hug it out. Like, that's what that was. Darian, you get your hand up.
Oh, yeah. I was just gonna say that my favorite chapter so far was the conversation between Serapio and his dad.
I got a little confused here, so help me out. Balam has stated that he is Serapio's dad. Pawagi, who has had a name change, who was initially Balam's cousin.
Yeah.
let me refer to the document that Vaden got all sorted out to me. Tinnies. Who ends up becoming, who we find out and discover is Serapio's third tutor in his rite of passage to become, this the god, the crow god.
Yeah.
And now it's Marcel, Mark.
Well, I think the way Poage said is like we all had like a hand in Serapio's birth, so we could all claim Serapio. But like Balam truly did love Saya, but like to fulfill the conditions of being able to birth an avatar, she had a child with Serapio's dad.
What, Balam doesn't have swimmers, does he?
I don't think Balam is the biological father of Serapio. I think for the conditions
just happens to be
of
Saya's husband, sorry.
Yeah, like he was Saya's lover, but Serapio's dad was like a condition of like she needed to marry like a prince or something, or like somebody who was like capable of taking care of them, like but off in the countryside or something.
Got it. And lineage
just that
important.
conversation, just that conversation between Serapio and his dad was really just heartbreaking because you just seeing like the insecurities among both of them.
And the fact that he like brushes his hand, he like brushes his or holds his hand, and Serapio is like, I have not experienced even a small gesture of like, a hand being placed on mine. So even just that, this guy is starved.
Because I would argue that Serapio's dad, who, spoiler, he had to kill in that chapter because he thinks he's trapped by prophecy, loved him more than Saya did because Saya just birthed Serapio for revenge. And this is a dad who wants to love his son, but at the same time, he is very confused and conflicted about what happened to his son. He had no control over that. And
recognizes that he didn't do his best. He did his best in that moment, but looking back, he was not a father. He was not a good father. And he's like, I couldn't give you anything in my life, so if I can give you something in my death.
But I argue that he still loves Serapio more than Saya ever did. Because Serapio was his mother.
100%. Like Serapio's mummy issues are going to be just through the roof. Now, we're all having a bit of discussion in the chat because I thought that Balam was Serapio's son because it's the way that Balam responds even anytime Tinez, now Powagi, is like, I get to call him a son. And Balam's like, the fuck you can. That is, how come, you are treading on my, and like, Balam, he's very, my property, my belongings.
Yeah.
Even though Tinez is like, have you met this girl? I want her. She's mine now. Psych. I got her. I want power. Whatever I want, I have it. Don't take my things from me. Hello, Nerd and Proud. Says, g'day. That's a very Australian thing to say. Lovely to see you. I'm doing Maude's book club. We're talking about this book. It's the third in the... Why?
Between Earth and Sky
series. Between Earth and Sky.
Between Earth and Sky saga by Rebecca Roanhorse. Earth and Sky. I'm like, sea. Nope. Sea. Nope. What else is it? Lisa, you got thoughts? And then we'll take it back to the chat. And Darren, I want to hear what you just posted in there as well. But go, Lisa.
Yeah, I posted it in the comments, but in that last chapter that I read was 26. When he was talking to his dad mentioned that he had been born 3 months early, and I'm like, was it actually his dad, or would that make it Balam his dad?
There's a big difference between 6 and 9 months.
Yeah, so I was kind of leaning towards that Balam is actually his father.
Darren says 3 months early and apparently healthy. All right. So what I thought was the truth is probably the thing that I'm not supposed to know, but okay. Well,
I will stand corrected.
It's crystal clear. I got so confused when this third father was mentioned because I'm like, I'm just hearing about the back and forth between these two who were both trying to claim Serapio as their own. And then this other guy comes in, I'm like, who are you? But okay, that's quite different when it's listening. I think a few things I need clarifying from time to time. Thomas Beechnor is multitasking like a bus. So yeah, people are just saying that Coyote song, virtually guaranteed. I said it in the fable that I don't think Serapio is redeemable at this point. Granted, I am behind on the reading, but I'm pretty sure that he will be given over completely to the Crow God at some point, and that will be the death of him. The Coyote song virtually guaranteed that for me. Just came in to Maude making a threat. I did? Mate, I don't even know when I swear, and apparently the swear count's in the 900s, so let's just throw a threat in there as well. It feels in line with what I offer as a person. Katie's favorite chapters were the Teak Islands. They were actually my least favorite for me. I didn't enjoy seeing her people overthrown. I didn't enjoy Toon holding the children hostage and putting forth unceremonious demands, or let's say, the fact that what takes 10 days needs to take 1. I didn't like that. I didn't like that. But what I recognized was unusual. The last time we saw Shiala in a bit of a pickle, really, she was in prison at the beginning of the first book in Black Sun. She's had a really kind of free, easy. That's her whole essence. She's just free. She's a captain. She sails the seas. She's nomadic. No one holds her down. No person holds her back. She likes women. She likes men. Her and Iktan get along as well. Like, there's just such fluidity with her that to kind of see her oppressed was really, really difficult. And I just noticed the difference between Serapio and Toon. Serapio's to the Golden Eagle clan. Hey, you guys messed up. You're done. You totally tried to overthrow you were the behind the Watchmen who eradicated sort of like esteemed people. Like, no good. Now you can join me, swear fealty to me, bend the knee, so to speak, or I'm going to kill you. I'm not going to kill your kids though, because that's messed up. Your kids can walk free. Women can walk free. But Grandma, Madame Eagle, bend that knee. She's a badass bitch. Kind of loved that moment. She's just like, anyone who's like, oh, fine, I'll do it. She's like, slit your throat. She's like, I can't kill the god, but I can kill anyone who steps forward to make a lesson that we are going to swear fealty. We are all going to die. We are going to die as a Golden Eagle clan together. But they're both trying to accomplish the same thing in a way, right? We're going to hold you responsible. We're going to use your resources, or we're going to kind of like take over what you have. Serapio doesn't want to do this. Toon almost relishes to do this. She kind of seems like she doesn't have many on her side. She's got like soldiers, yes, and they killed sort of like 28 of the Teak. So they kind of outnumber, but they're just putting resin in their ears, and they're using brute force, and then they're also using horrible tactics to keep them under their thumb. And so that's, I feel like, the difference when we're talking about, is Serapio the bad guy? Well, compared to Toon, how do they treat children? One of them are getting sacrificed a day with Toon, and the other ones are let go to kind of re-acclimate with other clans. So, Thaden.
Yeah, like Toon is like a petty dictator. Like she's cruel, just to be cruel at time, but all she really cares about is herself. There's nothing we can tell, at least, that she cares about beyond her ambitions. And like Serapio is the opposite. He's not doing anything for the sake of doing it. Like, he's not doing it because he's like, oh, I wanted to hurt people or whatever. He's doing it because he's doing strictly out of his desire to fulfill his fate, which is obviously a big problem. But like, he's not like doing it for fun or because he thinks he deserves
enjoy
it. Yeah, he's not doing it for fun at all. He definitely has regrets and has struggles emotionally dealing with it, but he's still willing to do it in the end. But it's not an easy thing for him.
I love these moments where he's like, I'm the god of death. I'm the crow god. This is what I do. This is me, right? Like, and then he's also like, but is it? Does it have to be? Do I want death? Do I want to kill, or am I supposed to kill? And he's really finding that balance, that struggle. And I think Okoa is such a beautiful piece of that sort of journey where he's like, well, if he's not gonna sort of bend the knee to me, and it's becoming this dictatorship, I am in charge, I am ruling, I deem your entire place mine now, bend your knee or you die. That is absolutely the worst way to go about things. It is totalitarian. It is like, bend the knee or die. They're your options. Like, that's evil. That is the definition of conquering. And I think that he kind of realizes that doesn't necessarily work. And especially at an individual level, he's sick of blanketing it. I've killed all of these people. I wiped out all of those people. Like, I created an eclipse, for fuck's sake. Like, I've literally stolen the sun from these people. Do I have to do that? And also, I'm totally in love with Charlotte, and I don't want anyone else ever again, and we are meant to be together. Loved that. Yes, Darian.
Well, I mentioned this in the Discord a few days ago, but basically this is Serapio right now is Paul Atreides weeks after becoming the Emperor.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like, trapped by the role that he is placed in, but he's also aware
I am the
of
prophecy!
what it is. Yeah.
I have the power. I have influence. Yeah. I know what needs to happen. Yeah. I will use fear.
Yeah. And his gods are like the Fedaykin, they're just fanatical, they just yes men in a sense. Like, he has nobody to really be able to confide in. And he's trapped by prophecy at this point.
Prophecy
only. And he doesn't want to be. Yeah.
And he's also trying to pick and choose what the prophecy could mean, but he's also live and die by this prophecy because it's all he's known. Mm-hmm. But you're right, he can't really consult anyone about this. He's even saying to Zataya, what does that mean? And she's just like, I'm gonna repeat it until you want to punch me. And you're like, that's not helpful.
Yeah.
You're right. He just wants a number to call, He's just like, help me. I want to, how do I Discord pop out? Oh, I have to, no, I want to show all the maps that are in the chat. And Robin, you put them in there as well. I might try to figure out how to pull them up a little bit later. Kate's going on a Toon rant. Now, we have had no structure with this. I do want to start talking exclusively about Shiala's chapters, Okoa's chapters, Balam's chapters, Serapio's chapters, and Ichtan for these. Ichtan. I always think it's like ich, like ich. Ich habe blondhaarige Blau's, Augen. Ich, I in German. I, ich. But it's IK. This is what happens when you just listen. Ich.
Ichtan.
Did I just give someone
the H is silent.
But there's no H, is there?
No.
It's IK. It's IK. Yeah, I know. I write it as ICH. Yeah. Ichtan. Tim, you got a hand up.
Yeah, I was just gonna say I'm kind of with Kate with Toon. Like, she's evil and
let her go through her rant because she's just written a really great post in the chat there. So we'll get Kate to do her Toon spiel, and then I want to hear you yes and okay.
So I said in the chat that Toon is like a pick-me girl in the sense that it's like you see these like, well, and people kind of giggle, but the idea of siding with someone who wishes you ill, because then you're like, but if I'm in the leopard eating faces party, the leopard won't eat my face.
Yeah,
it's like, huh? But yeah, so she's like in a council.
One might call that strategic, Kate. One might just call that strategic.
They like to say it is when you actively are against your own people. But yeah, she's the only woman on the council, and when you're a minority in something, you have to work twice as hard to get half the recognition. So she has to be the most brutal, the cruelest, the greediest. And it's kind of like she would rather do that than look at the Teak Islands, who it's like a matriarchal society where
That's
it's like,
it.
This is
Work
what could
with
happen
them.
If you're a woman too. Look at this society. Like, I mean, they do it's like they do sacrifice their male children to sharks and stuff. So I mean, it's not perfect, but it's like you
sharks
have
gotta eat too. Okay, no,
right here of a matriarchal society that's like worked, and so there's evidence that you're seeing it. But I wonder if she's got a little bit of jealousy too, and that's why it's not just about I just want land. I don't care what land it is. I wonder if she like. It's a little bit like, why can't I have that?
This is
Okay,
for
what I want.
Generation X. There's a couple of analogies that I want to go into that, which we're actually seeing displayed here. Darren also says she's got some ancestral claim to the Teak Islands, but I don't think it went very deep into that. I think it provided a little motivation for why the Teak Islands were an appeal to her. And it seems more likely that that could be the case because she is a woman. But what happens is with Generation X, you've got the baby boomers, which is like, we work hard. That is our entire identity. We don't even go to college usually. It's like we work. We are trying to, we're like 10, 15 years out of a Second World War. We are just trying to get things back on track, and that takes hard work. And then Gen X is taught by the baby boomers, you got to work hard. Hard work is the key. And they're like, sick. But because of the advancement in society and in technology, like millennials are from the internet era, like the birth of sort of the internet and that being able to help us. And so Gen X were like, but I had to work so hard to get where I am. So you need to work just as hard, if not harder, for me to respect you, because that's what it was for me. So I have a choice. I can make it easier for you, but I wouldn't be the person I am today if that didn't happen. Therefore, you must work as hard. And this is, in a way, how a lot of generational trauma can be passed down. Well, I had that happen to me, so I passed it on to you. I think the millennials are literally the therapy generation as well. And a lot of people are choosing that they are going to stop the generational trauma that's happened before, and I don't want to have to pass that on to my kids. When you add gender into this as well, because there are so much fewer women's in position of power. Let's say for every 20, 50 male CEOs, maybe even more than that, 200 CEOs, there's a woman CEO. Because she has had to work in majority male fields, strategically play that game, or, what is it? The statistics are like, women don't speak up as much, even though they are more clued in a lot of the time. Women, let's say they're applying for a job, they feel like they have to be 90%, have the qualifications at the 90% range to apply, when men will do it at 40 to 50%, they'll apply. So it's like we are held back because we want to be perfect before we put ourselves forward. And so a lot of the time women will adopt these male tactics of, well, I'll just speak up and I'll talk over and I'll be brash and I'll be one of the dudes. So when they look to women who are coming up behind them, they put them through even worse, because it's like, it was so hard for them and they managed to get through the gauntlet that it's like, I can't make this easy for you because this nearly broke me. Therefore, this has to hurt you. So that's sort of Tuna in a nutshell. Only female on the council. She chooses to attack and to take over the female pretty much only colony in the islands. She's got sorcery powers. Maybe that's another sort of maybe why she can't be affected or succumb to Sharla's song. Now, Sharla's the only one who has this song as well. Like, her whole powers of her people are they're disappearing. They're not being passed down to generations. They are not, like, people are losing touch with what the gift that they were given. Maddie says, I've just started talking over men when they talk over me. A big one that I have on a show where we all have loud opinions is I will say something off camera that is obviously brilliant. I'm like, do you know what I noticed about this episode? This. And then when we get on the show, they bring it up as if it's their thing. And without skipping a bit, I'm like, yeah, that's what I said. You're literally saying what I've said to you, but you're passing it off as if you've said it and it's your own idea. But you took it from me. I am not gentle about that anymore. My job is to not make you look good at the cost of me. I did the work. Nah. Do they like that? No. Have I apologized for doing it? Yes, but they've also said, no, thank you for doing that, because you're right. I just got in the moment and I just wanted to get that information out. That wasn't fair. And I'm like, hey, there we go. Because next time I will stomp on a kneecap. But yeah, I love that. Go, Maddie. Dave Styles, my old co-host on radio, says, oh my God, I've had those moments. As in when I yelled at you because you probably stole a joke from me, or because... Oh, poor Dave. He worked with me for 2 years on a radio show when I first moved to LA, actually. He goes, haha, no. You've had those moments where someone's stolen your joke or they've said what you've provided but passed it off as their own. That's just such a shortcut. I don't, because a lot of people are like almost going, are you kidding? You no way. And so we stay silent because they're like, surely you're not going to try to get away with that. And so we just stay silent. Does Dave still work in radio? Oh, yes, he does. Dave, meet Maddie. Maddie, meet Dave. Maddie now works for me with Maude's book club doing all the social content. And, it says, oh, fuck, hold that thought. I'm sitting through ads. I can't hear you. Got a minute to go. You're right. Power through it. Vaden's gifted a sub to Dave Styles. That's so sweet. Dave is absolutely lovely. He's done a lot of American radio here in LA. It's like 3 major places here. What? No. Get out. I say that. I'm the only one that can say that word around here. That is my word. Where's your certification? I would like to see your certification of that, please. I'll be the judge of that. Vaden here to save Dave. Vaden says, no time for ads around here. So Maddie wants to get into radio, long story short. She's in Canada at the moment, but really, really wanting to get into radio. More alternative radio and alternative music. Dave started off doing Kiss FM over here, and we worked together when he transitioned into my FM and is now at K-Earth. Dave lives and breathes radio. So, Dave, let me know what kind of advice I can give Maddie who really wants to do radio. Dave says, okay, back. Vaden is a hero. I got to learn this something. Dave, you now have access to new emotes that you can use as a subscriber, thanks to Vaden. But essentially we're just saying Maddie's trying to get into radio. You know radio. What advice can you offer Maddie who's trying to get into radio and break into radio? Maddie essentially says, my sister's in LA. I will move. That's on dedication. We don't do things in halves. I'd like to say, though, it's quite telling that if someone that I've worked with 11 years ago still pops in to see my stream, that's very sweet. It means we had a reasonably good time when we were doing the show, and that's what I can hope for. No, it was a lot of fun. Also, Dave, you're the only one who can answer this question. Do I sound less or more Australian or the same? Because it's been 8 years since we did the radio show, do I sound more American? Or has my accent not changed at all in this time? I'm scared. Oh, Dave wants to clarify. I wasn't referring to you. I've had people steal info from me, but it was my own fault. I was trying to help them. Oh, that's a bit of... That's GGS. That's some good guy syndrome you got there. I have a feeling a lot of people in this community are good guys. Except, you know what? I knew it. I knew it, Tim. I absolutely knew it. First thing he says, don't help people. Never works out. Don't do that. And I was like, I think there's a lot of good guys in here. Tim's like, let me tell you why you shouldn't help people. Dave Styles says, yes, I learned a ton from you. You just learnt more about Star Wars. Dave says, haha, I've learned that now. Expose their laziness instead. Nice. I'm nothing if not consistent. Sometimes there's still surprises, though. There are surprises sometimes. Dave, we are talking about this book right here for Maude's Book Club. You have not read it, I'm guessing, and so none of this will make sense for you. I loved popping down memory lane. Make sure in the chat you talk to Maddie, Wicked Maddie, who is the moderator in here as well, if you've got any radio advice for breaking into radio. I tried to tell her my story about how I got into radio, but it's a little bit different in Australia, is my guess. I somehow I don't know. I rigged the system indirectly somehow. You know, like Snakes and Ladders, it shoots in America because snakes are scary and Americans can't handle snakes. There's still a ladder. Like, oh, you slide down a snake. Oh no. What will the children think? In Australia, we're like, snake! I'll sort that out. I feel like a couple of things in my careers, I just got like, there's the traditional path and there's what you're supposed to do. And I kind of hit a few ladders on the way. It's the only way I can kind of describe that. K. Frida says, how did you get into radio? We are talking about Mirrored Heavens by Rebecca Roanhorse. And there are different points of views. This is a great book. T-Bone's like, peace, you're going back to talk about the book? Yeah, I know. I would love to tell you how I got into radio. I can make it a quick story. Can I make it a quick story? I got a shrug and one thumbs up. I'll take that. Dave says, getting into radio now, oof, I don't even know. It's changed so much. Coming to LA isn't the answer though. Not going to start out at the top. Take advantage of smaller nearby markets. Get on and learn. Maddie says, sorry guys, I got distracted. No, it's not you at all. I need a door to open. Oh, that's a great way to say it. Well, yeah, what's a good entry point? How can you be like, hi, I want to work for you? I mean, Maddie, you've got all that audio editing experience. Like from a sound engineer point of view. And like I said, the way I got in, I learned how to panel. And apparently that bought me like 3 or 4 years that I didn't have to cut my teeth, so to speak, because I learned how to panel from a community radio show. I know a ton of people that started on college radio stations. Maddie knows how to panel. I mean, that's how I got my job. I knew how to panel. And you know what? The job that I got, I never had to panel. Not once. Go figure. And the community radio station kept giving me feedback and she's like, shut up, stop talking about you. No one cares about you. You'll play a song. And you're like, this was when I saw that. No one cares. Anyway, I worked at commercial radio and they're like, tell us every story about you. And I'm like, great. All right. Dave said I started on college radio too. And then I moved to Idaho for my first job. Catch said that the people starting off in college radio, one of them is programming manager. It's a programming manager. It's at a station in Utah. Yeah, that's what I've learned about radio. You have to go start at the smaller stations, work your way up. When you hit the glass ceiling there, you move to a bigger station and do the same thing, rinse and repeat. Lisa, get rid of it. I read it 3 times and I still don't know. Sometimes when it's really weird.
I like how that one comment just completely derailed everything. We're all looking at it going, what?
This is like a live look at what that was. So anyway, I did.
So
Lisa, deal with it. Anyway, yeah.
And then the executioner.
Yeah. I have passed an order. I took a picture. Yeah. Can you post that in show chat so I can get a fourth in? He's gone. Goodbye.
Yeah. What the actual?
So back to the conversation about how women get it a lot worse. Thank you for making that point, the man Patrick. When was the last time a guy read like something like that in their chat while they streamed? Boy, he gone, girl, he gone. buffering. Yeah, I was like, anyway, we will get back to talking about the book. David, if there's any way you can give Maddie more help with this, all help, very, very welcome here. Dave started on college radio. Yeah. So sounds like that's the key. Maddie, your work ethic and integrity though will only help you, I think. It's my little feedback. I'll take anything. And I was telling her about, do you guys remember AMP when I had the AMP where it's like you can just literally sign up to the app and put on your own radio show. I was like, oh, that was last
Yeah.
year. I was like, Maddie,
I
that
kind
would
of
have
miss
been
your
really
AMP shows. Those were fun.
Yeah,
Weren't
they
they
were.
good?
They were
Yeah.
good. They were fun.
And it
I
took
mean,
back to
I
like,
couldn't take
those.
part because they were iPhone only, but they were
that's
fun.
right. Yeah.
At least initially, yeah.
It was US only as well.
That's right. Yeah. But like,
VPN,
yeah,
dude. There's ways around that.
Maddie, you could have had your own show and like built an audience, and then you would have built like a fan base there. People would follow and support you, and then the app died. Guess it's and pipe. Alrighty. We're talking about Toon at the moment. Kate was going on a rant about how Toon is a pick-me girl, how she could have worked with women to lift everyone up, but she's kicking more women down so that she can just lift herself up. She is burning the seats at the table, so no one can sit down at her table, essentially. Toon is quite interesting, though. I'd like to learn where she gets her sorcery. We are starting to learn a little bit more about sorcery. Balam is talking about how through his heritage, he's able to access some sorcery, but then it's also been banned. Balam may have taught Toon the sorcery. That's quite interesting, because what can Balam give someone? Balam, sorry. And there's different types of power, and it's like dude is suffering, and he, thank God, is not looking for empathy, because we have none to give. Balam's got dead people. He is sixth sensing across the board here. He is minding his own business, and a dead person is chewing his ear off. And he's trying to talk to them and get rid of them. No one else can see them. So he's kind of being haunted by ghosts at the moment. Balam has a lot of books that should have been destroyed, but his family kept. So this sort of sorcery, black magic in a way, was sort of like denounced. No one should be partaking in these sorts of magic. Saya, who he's got immediate boner for, is like, I will do anything for her. She's like, I want you to kill everyone. He's like, sick. Let's hit the books. Let's learn this forbidden sorcery, which if anyone found out, I would be dead so fast. But I love you so much. I will do anything for you. The scene where they're having the dinner party. Hi, you're our nearest and dearest. We've gathered you here. Saya, do you want to take it away? She's like, yeah. I'm going to kill everyone. We're going to create a deity through birth, and we're basically going to make a god so that they can fulfill my vengeance. And they're like, what? And she's like, and Balam, no, hear her out. Hear her out. She's so great. Baby, you look beautiful. Hey, hear her out. I think she's onto something here. She's like, yeah. It's totally going to be easy. I'm like, totally going to create a god of death. Like, he will wipe out everyone that I ever hate. But like, it's not weird. We could like totally do it. I had just like modern day equivalent flashes of what it would be like. People who like went to, what are those colleges that they're all like, oh, we're so great because we're Ivy League. These like Ivy League alumni who are having their dinner parties together. And one of them's just like, would you like to see our sex dungeon? And they're like, what? It's like, it had the same, like, that's what I thought the modern day equivalent of. It's like, yeah, we're all kind of a little bit bored. We have lots of money. We're all so educated and the smartest people here. Do we just want to get up to some messed up stuff that like will literally end our careers, but like we're so bored that it kind of sounds exciting? That stop being really rich, stop being really elitist, stop having drives of vengeance. So easy. It's so easy. And here, let me say this from me to you. If you're at a dinner party and someone's like, hey, we're planning on killing someone, get up and leave. I don't care if it's a joke. Go. And when they start pulling out tomes, nah.
But
get out.
What if you also want that person dead? Just putting it out there.
Tim, let's say you channeled a god to cohabitate with you.
Mm-hmm.
What would the god be of realistically, do you think?
I don't know.
The god of
sarcasm? I have no idea.
Disgruntled? The god of overworked and underappreciated. Oh, he froze. I thought he got sad for a second, but he froze.
I don't know.
Tim's god is the god of engineering.
The god of engineering. Yeah,
it
they will
not
unleash.
Fuck that. Fuck that.
Darren says, I think. Oh, hold on. It's a reply to something. I thought he didn't want to share the sorcery. I think it's for selfish reasons. Tinnies is his cousin. I'm not sure if that matters to him much, though. No, he wants to always have the upper hand over Tinnies. That was always so apparent. And we don't know what kind of relationship Tinnies had already had with Saya before Balam totally cut his grass. The god of sports is Tim's god.
Tinnies brought Saya to Balam because he was going to marry her originally, and Balam came in and swooped in.
But what was really interesting, because I think this is kind of from Balam's point of view, he's like, I think maybe they could have gone on a date or two at most, maybe. I don't know. You know what? I don't want to know. And it's like, that is a stonking piece of denial. You probably do know.
Balam is definitely
violation of the bro code.
A steal your girl type of guy.
But Tinez is Shia.
Tinez is the same as Iktan, that Shia.
Yeah, Shia.
Yeah.
But the fact that Tinez is actually Pawagi, whoa, did not see that coming. They're the same. Oh, everyone's saying no. Yeah. I thought you were like, no, that's not true. And I'm like, I swear I got that one.
No,
part.
I was saying I didn't see it coming either. I was
not
very
see that
confused.
Coming.
Well, and the other two people at the dinner were also the other tutors.
Yeah.
So they were all the tutors.
Yeah, they all
and the cover. Yeah.
Yeah, because
so Balam does teach the sorcery.
Serapio got the wood carving thing.
Yeah. They didn't explain why the name change. That's the only thing. I don't understand. But I think it was pretty clear to me anyway that these were the people that were Serapio's tutors. The name change thing doesn't make sense. I don't know if it's explained.
Not really. Pawagi, I wonder if it's just like a change of identity.
It does if you're trying to hide your identity from Dio Breggy.
Maybe. Because if you look at the names in the thing that Robin posted, you see like Tinnis / Pawagi and all that stuff. So it's right there. Yeah.
Serapio's third tutor.
Cadet, Pilau, Edie,
wields
Ishna, and
shadow magic. Works with Balam as a co-conspirator for Saya's revenge. So obviously Balam is teaching everyone at that table. They are all in this together. It's a pact. It does make sense though that Balam is going, what can I entice you to work for me? And if it's like a little bit of access to more and more power or sorcery, like that's a great carrot to dangle, especially for someone like Toon, who's got a taste of this. She's not going to get affected by Shiala's song. Like, makes absolute sense that she's like, more, whatever you need. Now, I see Balam as playing chess, and Tun is the bishop on the board. But Tun thinks that she's the queen on the board. She's a bishop. Like, let's be real. And Balam is playing this. The king, queen, that's Yesaya. That's him. He's king. I got 100 from Darian. Love that. Even like your rooks, like he is absolutely using sorcery power. He's also charismatic. Like when he was in that steam room, it was like made a point to be like, dude's fit. And then when he got like punched in the throat by Iktan, it's like, oh, his usually so soothing voice was scratchy. I had pictured Balam initially as like a very plump, overindulged, too much money, does not walk, gets carried everywhere sort of person. Turns out this dude shreds. He's ripped. And now, I picture the Mummy, the movie, the Egyptian bald dude. That's Balam to me now. You get that one scene where you're shirtless and you're like, I did not know that you got resurrected from being like a desiccated corpse, and now you're just like, all right, okay. Still not as hot as Brendan Fraser and what's her name? The mummy. Brendan
Rachel
Fraser.
Weisz.
Rachel Weisz.
Thank you, Rachel. Hi, Lone Star. We're doing book club tonight. Maybe is it Markle? Markle is the dad's name. Markle knows tinnies. Okay, yeah. I mean, they feel like they've got their own little insular kind of clique where they all have created Serapio. Serapio sounds like he's on a little bit of a path to destroy his past, and cut ties of everyone. Like the reason why he was born a little bit. It sounds like it's kind of like because he's now doing what Balam's doing, and he's trying to build a kingdom, and his own sort of like, dude, the end of the last book, he's like resurrecting this goddamn citadel, this kingdom out from the ground. Remember, he like slit all their throats, and from that power, like erected this like not castle. What do you call it? Like a full on
a ziggurat or
I keep
something
doing
else.
that.
Didn't they call it a fortress? Didn't they say it was basically a fortress?
Fortress.
You're welcome.
Serapio's got a fortress that was made from the blood of those that sacrificed their blood to him to serve him forever. Like, that is the darkest shit ever. Like, Serapio at the end of the book, I was like, you have gone the whole way to the dark side. You are, you're not even Palpatine and Vader. You are so far beyond that. So to see him have these beautiful moments of like, I'm killing. That is all I'm doing. How will anything grow? How will anything blossom? How will anything get better if I just kill everyone? There are deaths that I have to make because they have wronged, and I'll give them a chance. And if they don't bend the knee, they're done. But I don't have to kill everyone who disagrees with me. And then he kind of even says, well, who is an asset to me, and what do they as an individual need? I need Okoa. I need Okoa on my team. I need Okoa on my side. He really demonstrated himself in the last book. Their birds were like friends, and then he stole Okoa's bird from him, which is so... What would you call that? Birds before... No. Cocks before cocks? Because he took the bird? No, I got... Everyone looks disappointed at me. What would you call it if you take it in Maude We Trust? Not bad. Not bad. Tim, you're going to have to shut your video off and come back again because it's frozen.
Damn it, man.
You look disgruntled. But I love the fact that Serapio is really like, what does Okoa need? How do I really get this guy? Like, how do I get him to become a brother and not a servant? And I really loved those moments. Yes, Darian.
Oh, no.
You had your hand up. Wait, are you muted? It looks like he's like muted and he's like uttering.
Oh, I didn't realize I muted. Sorry. No, that was accidentally having my hand up. But I mean, he was definitely doing some Bene Gesserit stuff of how to manipulate this guy. What's the angle to really get him on my side?
Yes and no, because I truly do believe that he's like, because he's starting to play these power games, right? When he's at the Water Strider Kingdom, he's starting to look around and be like, oh my God, if I just look and like see, he's blind. But if he's like observes and takes in, he's like, I'm actually really learning a lot about people's motives. Yeah, I'm learning about their intentions. I can see in this particular instance that the person that has been selected from the Water Striders to be my wife knows that I'm interested in stories, has a story for me, where I, the crow god, features heavily in this story. And what's the ending? They have lots of children together. And he's like, this is horse shit. I've also said I like chocolate. And so what have they done? Provided all. He goes, they are playing me right now. And he's like, all I had to do was look for it. Wasn't it Saya who had told him that your eyes can lie? That what you see doesn't always have to be what is true. And so he's really starting to get smart. The difference here, though, is that I don't think he's trying to exploit Okoa. I think he truly respects Okoa. and recognize that like they kind of they piece together a little, they fit together.
I think it's half and half.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Serapio is doing to Okoa what Tun should have done to Shiala. And I think that Tun and Serapio really are super parallel with how they've gone about it. And Serapio, who has the ability to do horrible things, is actually choosing better each time. Tun is choosing so poorly.
Oh, you can't call Serapio evil. He is just a product of his circumstances at this point. Tun is actively trying to be evil.
Yeah. And Darren said that he only reached out to Okoa because of the prophecy. Talk me through that a little bit more.
Well, he didn't feel like at or like feel like he wanted to make amends or anything with Okoa. He ended up doing it, but because of the prophecy, he saw that Okoa is part of this, or his interpretation of the prophecy has Okoa being a part of it. And so it's like, how can I turn this to his advantage? So that's why he reached out to do the audience with Okoa, knowing that Okoa was going to try to kill him. And so then it's like, okay, well, how can I manipulate this situation? And maybe he's happy to do it because he likes Okoa, but primary motive to me seemed like it was, how can I use this to my advantage?
What is it the part of the prophecy that he has associated Okoa with again? We've got...
It's the rotten thing that has to be turned into a flower or fruit or whatever.
Turn rotten fruit into to flour.
Yeah.
So the prophecy...
Okoa is rotten because he betrayed him.
So the prophecy that is absolutely putting Serapio into a tizzy big time, it's the Coyote song. On earth, in heaven, and within. 3 wars to lose, 3 wars to win. Cut the path, mark the days, turn the tides. 3 tasks before the season dies. Turn rotten fruit to flour. Slay the god bride, still unloved. Ugh. Press the sun to fell the sire. Victory then to the carrion king, who in winning loses everything. I heard that and I was like, we are set up for a tragedy. We have set this up so that even if Serapio does all these things, he will have to die. Or is it that he loses everything that he loves? Shiala absolutely is playing a part in this, whether he chooses to believe it or not. I think he's doing this whole, I'm going to have a water strider bride, knowing that she's going to die, and that will take care of it. And I won't utter Shiala, I won't mention her, and then no one will know. All right, sweet child. I can't stand riddles. If Zataya came up to me, she's like, your entire life rests upon this. When the sun sets and I'd be like, nah, say words, use your words. I'm not figuring this out. I need literal, non-wavering, concrete things.
So you wouldn't survive Jedi training with Yoda then?
I mean, if he says what's on the screen and it's a ship, it's a ship. It's not like an interpretation of a ship, or I feel like this could be a ship. It's yeah. But Yoda with his like, this is what therapy is. We're not going to tell you the answers. You have to get there yourself. Just fucking say it. What is it? Put it out there. I'll be like, oh, cool. Now, in this, who? Tim? Who?
That was not me.
No, that was me. And only because it was like, that'll be a reaction to hearing the prophecy. It'll be like, that was me.
My favorite part is I turn and everyone's like, and you're like, it was me. But, let me.
I like how you just instantly was like, Tim.
Yeah, because you're also like,
I swear.
Well, I'm saying that's how you'd react if you hear the prophecy.
I have some kind of reputation here.
Reputations are usually earned. Yeah. Yeah, I'll say that. It's nice to know that you wouldn't put crickets in me when I said, it's like in therapy. Oh, that's so funny. I was like, who did it? Show yourself. with the slay the god bride still unloved. Tim, you think that this is Narumpa? Talk me through that.
Well, that was my initial thought was Narumpa, simply because she's the living avatar of the sun god. And there's a sort of mortal enemy there between the sun god and the crow.
Now, it said that she was still unloved,
thinking
but
about
Iktan said
thinking
that
about it could
they
be,
loved her.
Yeah, it could be Shala, simply because she's the only remaining Teak that seems to have any real connection to the mother. So that isn't a secondary option. But my initial thought was that it was Narumpa.
Slay the god bride. I thought that was the god, him, bride. So whoever
that'd be the
chooses to
god's
marry.
bride.
Yeah, man, that's at least how he's interpreting it, is that he's the god and the bride is whoever he's with. And,
got it. So that's what he's thinking it is, but you guys think it's Narumpa. And the sun, where is the part? Press the sun to fell the sire. Press the sun, S-O-N. You are saying that the sun is Balam or Serapio. Why Balam?
He's got large ambitions, and I think a lot of it is due to him trying to live up to his father's legacy. He talks about it a lot, about how his dad wasn't around, but everything he did was kind of to his dad wasn't around because he passed away, but when he was there, he wasn't very supportive.
We had the flashback with Saya, and he's like, my father's not going to give you money. My father's not going to help you. My father won't even look at you, but I can help you.
So I think it's that.
Okay. Okoa's father betrayed everyone to try and free them. There was a rebellion, and his father kind of like charged that, and he's wearing the shame of that.
And if Balam really is Serapio's father, it could be Serapio having to kill Balam.
Oh, okay. Press the sun to fell the sire. 100%. Serapio's going to kill his actual dad, Balam.
Yuppers.
Which means the whole scene was unnecessary with him killing his Markle. Just makes it all the sadder.
I think it's
very
like
sad,
Serapio doesn't know.
Serapio is so consumed by a prophecy, and he even says that in their exchange. He's like, why do you believe it? And he's like, why wouldn't I? My whole life is a prophecy. So I think that this is like, could be a misdirection. It could be the lesson that he has to learn, because he's trying to take control of a prophecy by how he wants it to be.
Yeah. And definitely, I guess part of this book is actions from misinterpreting the prophecy. Because that one, turn the tides, that should be about Teak, right?
Turn the tides. Cut the path, mark the days, turn the tides. They are the three wars, no? Cut the path? I don't know. Mark the days? I'm not sure. Turn the tides? Teak.
The marking the days is the lead up to the summer solstice. They keep talking about the solstice. Yeah. That's marking the days. The tides, it would make sense.
They had that for the end of Black Sun was the solstice, so that's already happened.
No, but this is a year later though, so they're coming back around to it.
Okay. Well, mark the days.
Black Sun was the eclipse where it's frozen in place, and the solstice is when the sun should be at its zenith in the sky.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there's still an eclipse. They have been starved of sun. Like the crops are dying, elderly are dying.
Yeah.
They're just being void of vitamin D.
So a thing about the book is like it's hard for me to picture all this happening like in perpetual nighttime because of the eclipse. So I always picture it in still full color.
So do I. Do you think that before the season dies, do you think that the eclipse, it being permanently night, is the season?
Well, the solstice usually marks the end of a season.
It's just Tova that's in an eclipse. Everywhere else has sun. Yep, just Tova. But I mean, that's just like, again, him using the Serapio almost using fear looming over this entire place that he is in control of, putting them in a permanent state of darkness. That's so foreboding. Okay. And apparently it was Zataya that did chapter 1.
What was chapter 1 again?
It took me a minute to remember who Zataya was.
Oh, mate, that just like in one ear out the other. Chapter 1, Zataya uses her sorcery to see her future, finding out she is bound to the crow. And then we have Shiala's sort of being overrun, and then the women working together, getting the, cramp medicine, which is poison, that foiling, killing a spear maiden who's probably just like got really bad period pain, ends up dying for it. She was a little mean, so every time I say mean, I mean another word. I just can't say it on a stream, but you know exactly what okay. Yeah. She lost her 2 best friends. Shiala, her only ties to why she would be in Teak, her best friend, first love, first kiss, has her throat opened in front of her by Tun. And the fact... Fuck. No, she doesn't. Sorry, Lisa. As soon as I said it, Lisa's just like... and I'm like, I did. Never mind. Chapter 27.
Put that on the bingo board. Who had that one?
Spoiler.
Maude spoils the book.
We really gotta make that.
I didn't know if it was 26 or 27. 26.
Yeah.
And then I said I would stop at 26, but I read to 27.
I'm never gonna get mad about spoilers unless it's something I genuinely care about.
Okay, Robin and Darren are like, is it technically spoiling when we were supposed to read to 27? Okay. Can I talk about this chapter, Lisa? Shiala is fueled by rage at this stage. Her kids were, the kids of her town were threatened. She was mocked and beaten by soldiers. She was silenced. They took her best friends from her. She is on a mish. This bish is on a mish to be a bish. Like, she's ready to go. This is what we need from Shiala for her story. Sometimes it is really, this is the equivalent of fridging in a way, where it's like, we need to wrap this up so you can use this and your anger and seek out your vengeance in a way. So that's Shiala's. I will say this was my...
turn mermaid mode now?
She can what?
Is she gonna turn mermaid mode now?
Have you read chapter 27?
Not yet.
We'll swim to it, buddy. Also, I'd like to just refer to the cover of the book just before you start saying I'm spoiling. I'm just trying to tie up sort of what we had from each character arc in the first half of the book. With Narumpa, she was seeking sort of she had her sort of like student teacher training montage for a bit there.
Some Karate Kid stuff, yeah.
The old woman, we didn't know if she like knew her stuff or even knew about the sun god. Turns out she really knew everything. Didn't like the fact that Narumpa is like, I want to be done. Narumpa is dream walking now. Consuming god flesh to be able to dream walk. This whole journey of like, let's understand what dream walking is. I loved what Narumpa had done by building her fortress in her mind, what it looked like. She tried a few out and then she's like, you know what? Nah. When I was working with my brother last year before he died, I was a part of this. This is what my life would have looked like. I want to live here. And the fact that she has a library and each person
is a mind palace
is a book. I love it. When I had like Iktan's book, I was like, that is so awesome. I absolutely love that you can kind of take the book and then open it up and visit them. There is the presence of this jaguar prince that's infiltrating the dreams as well. This is Balam, yeah?
Yeah.
Balam is like chomping down on that god flesh just as much. It's part of his sorcery powers that he's able to sort of like dream walk, communicate in that particular way. But she's sprung him, and he's like, oh, I see you looking at me. And so, like, who knows what that's going to open up. It's interesting how many of these are intertwining. Tun, who's being instructed by Balam, who's taking over Shiala, who wants to get back to Serapio, who also traveled with Iktan in the last book, who is in love with Narampa. They went to college together, but he betrayed her. They betrayed her. And seeing this, like, technically Shia, seeing this, how the threads have like all interwoven at this stage is really exciting. Narampa started focusing, instead of on her training, to finding Iktan. Now, Iktan is doing a little sort of murder mystery sleuthing about. Iktan is like, shit went down. I want to find out who's behind it. And basically is led to Balam. So Balam is like the key schemer, the chess master, putting all the pieces into place behind everything. And Iktan realizes this. Now, trying to sneak up on Balam and having these spikes shoot out of the ground and pierce through their feet, sheer feet. Did anyone else think of Prince of Persia with the knives?
Yeah, I did.
I was like, that sucks. But being in Iktan's point of view, looking down, being like, the spikes have gone all the way through my feet. I am in so much pain. Blood is pooling out of my feet. I am going to try and have a conversation with Balam so I can slowly inch my broken feet through the spikes to get free. And then having combat with this incredible pain. It sounds like through Narampa's visions that Iktan's feet are mangled beyond repair at this particular stage. And Iktan, fighting off Balam, has escaped and is trying to lay low, basically, but also taking out a few other people on the way.
Yeah, like Numa.
Yeah, because Numa was behind
just
it.
Like he like lay havoc to Golden Eagle with an injured foot.
Yep. All right, cool. Numa's in on this too. Say less. Boom, boom, boom. Gotcha. Iktan is the Prince of Knives, and I love that we get to see them in their full glory like this. Hate that they were so hurt. That was really painful, and it was very visceral in the language of those moments. Narampa, of course, dreamwalking, experiences the pain, looks down, sees the mangled feet, tries to find Iktan, but too late. Iktan's infection has gone to the blood and is alive long enough to essentially just say, I love you to Narampa. Now, that was a little cliche. I ate it up.
Yeah, but also, like, I feel like she'll be fine because like Narampa is already, we already know Narampa can heal. Like Narampa has healed
Sun God powers,
Serapio before, yeah. So and she literally says, I'm gonna go come heal you now, I'm gonna try to heal you. So I don't know if she's successful, but we'll hopefully find out. And I'm guessing she'll be, just because that's one of her abilities.
Yeah.
I'm pretty confident she heals up. Well, heals
I do too. And then they can be together, but she's also like a sun god. So it's like Serapio and Shiala and Narampa and Iktan. I love this.
But will Narampa learn that the role Iktan played in murdering the matron of Carrion Crow, that kind of like, was the catalyst for part of the destabilization?
That's what we need to figure out.
Because Narampa doesn't realize like how bloody Iktan's knives really are.
Yeah. You want to talk about people who are designed to be weapons? Iktan falls into that category as well. And is trying to undo some of the damage, but oof, that is a bloody path they walked. Iktan was also involved in the coup that removed Narampa from being the Sun Priest. Yeah. Wasn't that what Iktan said in the dreams? Like, my biggest regret I ever had was betraying you.
Yeah.
That did save Narampa on Sunrock though, so in hindsight.
I wonder if Shiala's had everything taken from her, so she's now like storming into this. Narampa had the one thing given back to her, and that's going to be her motivation and catalyst to kind of like step up and to be being sun god as well. Oh yeah, we got to. I need a new book. What's a recommendation? Dungeon Crawler Carl and Project Hail Mary are the most recommended books in this book club for sure. One of them is sort of like a contemporary dungeon crawler, literally it's in the name, book, which is like a lit RPG. And Project Hail Mary is a very funny, even though it's world-ending, sci-fi book. They're very good. We've talked about Balam, we've talked about Shiala, we've talked about Narumpa. Serapio, I feel like we've kind of gotten through all of that. He's in his own head. He's balancing humanity with being a death god. I feel like he's got a lot more, he's being a lot more gentle to like his subordinates. What's the one that starts with M? Matai?
Maka or?
It starts with M. Makai. Where's the document?
It's Maka, Maaka or something like that.
Maker. It's Maker in the audio book.
Yeah.
Maker. Yeah, they say Maker in the book. Thank you, Darren, as well. Listening to Maude whilst reading will never be beaten. So peaceful. You can read and listen to this squawking noise. That's amazing, Matthew Butcher. Butcher? Never met her. No, Lisa's like, we're not. No, it was everyone being like, absolutely not.
I'll still count.
I count the pun. I wanted my boom tish. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine.
Nope.
Maker was very much a. Lisa? I saw a little trumpet pop up. I thought you wanted that emoji to shoot up and get back down before I looked. I saw it. You can always tell because someone was like.
At least you didn't automatically assume it was me.
I know, you weren't even near your computer though.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean it would stop you from blaming me.
That would have been really funny. You're like at your stove cooking dinner and I'm like, Tim. I feel like Serapio is also seeing Maker a little bit better. Instead of being like, yeah, you are just a sworn person who's now empty and will do thy bidding. Like, you know, absolute power corrupts absolutely. I think there was a version where Serapio is like, right, take out that person, do this, do that, like be my almost minion, be my or second in command, do all the things that I don't want to do without consequence. But I feel like he's being a lot more respectful to Maker and being like, oh my gosh, you are an asset, you are a person on my side. Like, let's be a family a little bit more than let's be, you know, a part of my Swiss Army knife collection where I've got all the tools and I just implement them. We spoke about Iktan likely surviving. What other points of views did we get? Zataya with Serapio, that sort of overlaps a lot.
Mm-hmm.
That's everyone. I love the fact that Okoa got sent away. Like, Serapio's like, go sort out this. He's just out in the fields doing manual labor, living his best life. Anonymous, doesn't have the history of, you know, his lineage or his position of power. He's just drinking with his work buddies after a day plowing fields. And then gets outed. And he's like, with the what?
He can't hold his drink. He can't hold his drink.
Can't hold his drink, gets outed as who he really is, and everyone's like, oh, we didn't know that you were that person. He's like, cool, now I have to leave. I have noticed, though, around this part of the book, though, Shiala's story got wrapped up. She's leaving. She's, you know, there's a direction. Narumpa had to figure out Iktan. That's sorted. They can go back to whatever they were doing. Serapio visited his dad, taking care of that, going to go back to what he's doing. Balam got throat punched. He's going to go straight back to what he's doing. Also, shout out to the narrator who like was doing Balam and then had to do Balam. And I was like, yeah hell yeah. You put you back into it. Yeah. Okoa got outed. He's going back as well. It's like, woo, we did the first half. Right. Mm-hmm. Woo. And it's going to be set in motion big time. So it's like all of our stories have kind of reached somewhat of a closure at the halfway mark. Very convenient.
So I'm curious, how many gods have we seen so far? I believe we have the crow god, we have the water god in Teak, and
Sun
sorry,
god.
in Ciela.
Well, that's the
Yeah.
mother.
And the mother,
The
yes.
sun god in Narampa.
Sun god
Well,
in Narampa, that's 3. The
what's
coyote
the
is
earth?
fourth god.
Is that the earth god? The
So-
I
coyote?
don't count the earth god, but I know coyote's another
The
god. for
jaguar,
sure.
the coyote, the sun god, the crow, and then the mother, which is the teak. I think that's 5.
And then there
Mhm.
was the wind god that.
Oh, and then
Yeah.
yes, the
Yeah.
fox, the wind god. They did mention
Yeah.
that.
That's 6.
So I mean, yeah.
That makes
You know,
sense.
Yeah.
it's interesting you mention it too, because Lisa, because it was mentioned in the book that Anivik, aka the daughter of Kupshu, the lady who was tutoring Narampa in the power
She was
of
blood touched.
dreamwalking. Yeah, she was
Drank the
wind touched.
Kool-Aid too far.
Yeah, she was, but also she was wind touched. She can use wind powers. So maybe
Yeah.
Kupshu or and her were like had to do with the wind, have to do with the wind god to some degree. And maybe we'll see Kupshu back or something.
Wind.
And from Fevered Star, there was this thing of like each magic had its opposite. So like it was like sun
That's
and
right.
shadow.
That was mentioned at the end of the last
Yeah.
book.
Yeah.
You actually posted. Yeah, I posted it in the first book's chat, so I copied it here. But yeah, it's let's see, it's fine.
Like Narampa has a diagram of it.
Here it is. It's 8 types of magic: spirit and blood, fire versus water, stone, sky, and sun and shadow.
All right, so sun and shadow we know. Water and fire. Was that going to be Tun and Shala?
Well, Toon
Yeah,
is stone.
Tun threw a fireball, didn't she? At the ship.
No, but no, I think she's stone because she like made the earth move when
Yeah.
Shala tried to sing at her.
Yeah, she's
She's an
stone.
When they
earthbender.
first met.
Yeah.
Sky, I assume, is like I said, probably Kupshu, I assume, or if she ends up doing more stuff in the book, because she has her daughter needs wind magic. So
Well, isn't Sky sun?
no, sun is
Sun is sun.
Narampa. Yeah,
Hold on. What are they again?
I'll put in chat, but yeah, it's
Thanks.
spirit, blood, fire, water, stone, sky, sun, and shadow. There you go. Here too.
Spirit v
Yeah.
blood. Okay, what's the spirit and who's doing blood magic? Is that Balam? Is Balam doing blood? Oh no, he's
Balam
spirit.
and blood.
Is his, how is he
He's-
not also
well,
spirit?
No,
It's
Balam mastered blood magic. Yeah.
But he's conversing with the dead.
That
He's
I
literally
think
talking to spirits.
That's because of the Dreamwalker, and I think he's haunted by the first Dreamwalker.
Good. It's called consequences, Balam. Happens.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so who's spirit? We're halfway through the book.
Yeah.
We have half a book to go. Who is spirit? Who is fire? Who is sky?
I suspect we're not going to see all the magics.
That's bullshit.
Well, for Spirit, would it be the daughter because she went to the graveyard and started talking to the ghosts there?
True.
Maybe.
Okay.
And also, a lot of people are how to use multiple magics. Like they aren't like Balam does use blood and shadow, and
Oh, I use a shadow.
Tinez did shadow.
Yeah.
Tinez, I thought it was exclusively Pawagi was exclusively shadow and taught
Yeah.
Serapio shadow.
Tun is
Interesting.
stone.
I
Yeah.
believe Tarampa's son, but also maybe a fire too. I'm not sure how it works,
Mhm.
but I believe
Which
she's
is also
both.
healing.
Well, healing is the sun. Is I believe healing is I
Yeah.
believe the sun power, but I think she also fights fire because she is
Oh
like
yeah,
the
she
phoenix.
burned. So didn't she burn someone's hands as well?
Maybe
Sun god.
yeah, I don't remember another book. I think she did, but I don't recall
I
anymore.
thought it was last year when they killed her brother. She her hands went on fire and she burned someone.
Oh, I think you're right.
Glow. Yeah,
that
she
ringing
starts
a
to
bell?
glow. Yeah.
It does ring a bell.
Um,
Yeah, she
Yeah, she holds on to them and her hands go on fire and they basically
Yeah.
burn. from
melt
the
some base.
Yeah.
I mean, also, can we like just not ignore that Narampa is like flying from town to town, like just she's not walking, she's not riding a horse, she's flying.
Sky.
That's so overlooked. Yeah, she's flying from town to town to look for Ictan. It's
Also, I want to see what a water
It's so
strider looks
casual.
like. It's a water bug the size of a house.
yeah.
Now, I'm guessing their houses are a little bit smaller back then.
Yeah, they
but,
talked
like,
about the water striders in book 1, I think,
Yeah.
or maybe it was book 2 when Shala was on the river with the with the people heading to Tova.
Yep. And they also talked about serpents, like they had serpent races or something, didn't they? Like they were talking about
serpent, so that'll be like Quetzalcoatl.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah.
Or I think it was like Serapio when he's like, "We've got crows. What have you got?" And they're like, "Serpents." Like, oh, okay. Wow. You just know that those birds, the crows, big birds, are going to eat the serpents. Like, surely. Anyway, your homework. Finish the book, and then we've finished the saga. So next week we're going to chat about all three of them.
Yeah.
Do you think I should read about what happened in Fevered Star before going into the second half of the book? Or should I've already done this and was like, you made your bed, lie in it?
I mean, the recap I put up is very short, so
I'm literally here going, I'm not learning a lesson.
I feel like you're committed at this point.
I know, I'm so stubborn.
Read?
Well, I've already done it.
You read it, recap the Robin read pretty detailed, so that's good.
How long is it? Can I read it now?
Yeah, you can literally read now. It's very short. Like at least the one I posted. It's literally just like 3 paragraphs. Like it's on the Wikipedia page. I'll post it. I'll just post the whole thing.
Well, it was in Mirrored Heavens. I'm scrolling up. Yeah, here it is. I got it. Okay, Maude, This is on accountability. I'm reading the recap of the last book out loud for everyone. In Coca-Cola, Balam learns to practice dream walking, which has been forbidden. That makes sense. All right, that's already helpful.
Hey.
In Coca-Cola, Balam learns to practice dream walking, which has been forbidden since the Treaty of Hokkaiya. Now that the Watchers are dead and the treaty is broken, a power vacuum opens up in the continent of the Meridian. Balam calls a meeting in the city of Hokkaiya. He plans to place the Golden Eagle clan in charge of Tova. He also plans to kill Serapio, whose survival was not intended. In Tova, Narampa meets with Denaochi, the brother. He intends to set her up as a symbol of resistance against the Carrion Crow clan. Serapio and Okoa return to the Carrion Crow district and meet with Okoa's sister, Essa, the clan's new matron. Serapio quarrels with the leaders of the Carrion Crow about their plans for the future of Tova. Shiala goes to the Crow district where she meets Iktan. They escape the district together and join the Golden Eagle clan on their journey to the meeting in Hokkaiya. Shiala learns that Iktan orchestrated Yalitza? Who is Yalitza?
Yalitza is the matron of Crow Clan, Okoa's mom.
Yep. Iktan orchestrated Yalitza's death and that the Golden Eagle clan was behind the assassination attempt on Narampa. Shiala confesses to Iktan that she's been exiled from Teak after killing her own mother. When Shiala reaches Hokkaiya, she learns that her mother is actually still alive. She's ordered to return to Teak, but why have her back just so you can kill? Anyway, she's ordered to return to Teak, but agrees to spy on her mother for Balam. Forgot about that. Narampa calls a meeting of all the Sky Maid clans where she reestablishes the Coyote clan. That's right. And accuses Golden Eagle of treachery. Conflict erupts and Denaochi is killed. Serapio and Narampa fight to a draw at Sunrock. Narampa heals Serapio's wounds and leaves the city. Serapio forms his own army from the Odaha cult. Odaheya. Builds a magical fortress. It says palace, but you know it was a fortress, and declares his intent to rule over the city rather than just the Carrion Crow clan. Also, Balam is one of the lords, merchant, I believe. He's very ruthless, who learns dream walking and seems to have big plans for Serapio. There we go. This book has time jumps that I don't remember from other books, like Serapio's mother and Balam as teenagers, first learning about magic. Yeah, it took me a little while to piece together that this whole thing was to create Serapio. And then I was like, oh, are you going to be missing next week? You'll have to let us know your thoughts in the chat, Darren. She transforms into a firebird. Yeah. The fire and the crow. There you go. I don't want to spoil it. I looked up some reviews on Goodreads about this, and I'll share them next week.
Okay.
Maybe there's a bit of a Santalanche-ish with this one.
I could see that.
Apparently it's going to pack a punch. Now that you're
I
prepared
could
for
see
that.
it being like backloaded, yeah.
Yeah.
One comment about
It doesn't
Dreamwalking
take
is
18 friggin' years to get to it.
I have one comment about Dreamwalking.
Yeah.
Did anybody else realize that Dreamwalking is just tripping shrooms until?
I mean, yeah. The
Godflesh,
mostly shrooms,
the
yeah.
tea.
When they
eat
mentioned
it.
Godflesh, I thought it was like literally a fruit from a tree, and then they're like, oh no, it's just like tripping shrooms.
No, it's 100% shrooms.
They try to make it into a tea, and she's like, nah, I'm going straight to the source. I'm going to chomp this shit down before I change my mind. And you're like, go sail, girl.
I wonder
that's why you get trapped in another dimension.
I wonder if the tea has something to do with the strength, because you notice Balam doesn't make a tea. He just eats them, and then he's the one that's being haunted and can't tell the difference between dream and reality, whereas Narampa was initially drinking the tea and was able to kind of separate the two more.
Darren, you can say that.
Huh?
Yeah,
the tea is more controlled, and their whole perspective of Rampa treating the dream walking with way more respect and caution than Balam is just like, let's fucking go. Yeah. And then she has to like vomit it up after she's done with it, and then like
just
scrub it off of her skin because it's
Just,
like, oh, this shit will fuck you up.
So basically, if you don't
and then drink something to like excrete all of it after
to cleanse it, so
so
I think this is staying.
And
it's
then
staying in
also,
Balam's system in a concentrated form, and that's just like what opened up the dream walking to like his reality, and like just let the passage through the spirits to just chill with him.
He's
permafriend. Directly though, when looking for Ikton, when she's on the road, she doesn't have time to do the tea, so then she just eats it directly, and then she just pokes her finger in the back of her mouth, and tries to do the extra stuff, but she had no time to.
She's a raw dog.
But Narampa has also had sort of like training and this whole fantasy trope of like you find an old elder figure who guides you through all of this. It sounds like Balam read a book. And was like, all right, we're gonna create a god. Maybe.
Balam learned his karate without Mr. Miyagi. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. The woman that Balam has been haunted by the vision, I was thinking it was the first spear maiden who became a dream walker, but could it be like Saya?
No, that actually makes sense. The spear maiden.
Yeah, I was thinking that could it be Saya?
He sees Saya in his dreams all the time.
Yeah. But
so he would recognize her if she showed up while he was dream walking.
Okay. Yeah, so it has to be the first dreamwalker, that woman who started.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
All right, good chat. That actually was really helpful. I was a bit worried about this one. I thought I was going to be fudging this whole time, but that was really great. Now the recap really did help. So I learned a lesson today. So here we are. We're going to do a raid, and then Members Plus, we're going to hang after the show. We didn't get to do it beforehand because I was stuck in traffic. So we're going to hang after the show, which will be nice and fun. Who do we want to raid into? What are we feeling? Are we feeling a game? There's some... Oh, Critical Role's on tonight. Thanks, guys. It started 16 minutes ago. There's so many people watching that. That's wild.
Do they need our help?
No.
No. But still.
I mean, what else are we going to do?
Like I said, this is a democracy, so do whatever you want.
No, the whole point of a democracy is that it's still a group.
Yeah, we all vote, and then Maude does whatever she wants.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, that's true.
Maude is the Queen of Tova tonight, so.
Also, was the lesson not to go a year between books in a series?
Yes. Oh, you can't even raid them. I was going to do it. I was going to raid them. They don't even allow it. Wow, imagine being so strong. You don't even have to flex.
I'm just studying for next month with death masks, like because nobody has like touched Dresden in like a year.
That's been longer,
So
right?
that's gonna be.
You got. How long has it been since you all did Dresden?
Must have been a year.
We'll have to do like a almost
Probably
like a
like 2
recap.
years.
I'm gonna put it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put it down now. Recap of Red Rising series before we read Red God, because God only knows when that book's gonna come out.
Well, we haven't got
Agree.
Library. We haven't done Library
And
yet.
we haven't done Lightbringer yet.
We haven't done Lightbringer yet. No,
Yeah.
I like that idea. Yeah, have like a really big sort of like recap stream. You know what? The Dresden books are so small. Even if like when we do a part 1 and part 2, part 1's almost just like a recap of 1 to 4.
Yeah.
And then we talk about the first half of 5.
The Wikipedias for the Dresden books are pretty detailed as well, so that's easy to catch up with.
Okay.
I can imagine if we ever do Wise Man's Fear, that will be a hell of a recap.
Oh, damn! We never did the second one, huh?
Yet.
I'd do that book for sure. What's our December book? Dungeon Crawler. We're bumping Dungeon Crawler Carl up because I don't want to have too many months between. Oh, hey, Kevin Dubs.
Oh, hey, there's Ken.
You just came in and you yelled, what?
No.
Why don't you want us to move Dungeon Crawler Carl up?
It's the best book.
I miss Donut. Donut is awesome.
She's bumping it closer to now, not bumping it back.
Oh, closer. I'm sorry. I thought you said up.
Yeah, no, we'll do
What
Dungeon Crawler
happens-
Carl closer so that we
what
can do
happens
like a
when you
Wise
don't
Man's
listen?
Fear. Hey, we're
Well,
gonna
I'm
raid
still in lurk
Balian.
mode.
We're raiding Balian versus Predator. Say hi. Oh, it's already over.